My brain is frazzled, so yeah. Okay.
So Sarah and Adam have listened to 16.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting how there's been some common threads, and I think for me, aside from this decision about how we spend this last pot of 6,000, it feels like there's some real messages to take back to colleagues, as we said earlier, about Kelvin, and it feels as a trust we need to make sure we've got the infrastructure for some of the technological advances that are being suggested here, which I think if we were running a business rather than the NHS, the business would be absolutely ahead of and well sorted, and we need to make sure that we can support and promote these developments, because some of these bids seem to me to be more expensive than they need to, because they're being done in isolation as opposed to across the piece.
It's been really interesting, hasn't
it?
So 7 out of the 17 bids have been about media.
Yes.
Different forms of media.
Yeah.
And I think it's beyond IT. No offence to IT, but it's a different skill.
Yeah.
It's a different thing for us to think about. How we use media to help patients and staff, and very particular patient groups have the best experience in the hospital. It's been really interesting. And when Parveen was talking about our links with, we could do it ourselves, but we could link it with the University of Plymouth.
Yeah.
You start thinking about all of the different bids that we've listened to, all the great ideas, and there's something really really positive and powerful there for me.
I feel there's something around our resourcing, and whether we should be creating internal roles around some of these media specific roles, whether we should be working with some of the universities locally and engaging the talent of people, absolutely, about filmmaking and all that sort of thing, thinking about what Verity was saying about the difficulty and the expense associated with getting a film made by somebody who themselves is deaf and that sort of thing. There must be people out there who would work with us to make these projects a reality.
But if you have a look at the 7 that you're talking about and some others, how do we maybe bundle them together and maybe link them to a university or research where there's research money that might bring down the cost, and we could support a few more, which might be the next step. I can't believe how digital technology and how far even the staff are considering digital technology in different forms. So there might be some sort of ability, looking at it, to link some of them up that they might bring the cost down.
I think with all of them, I could quite have happily said yes to every single one of the 17. And in a way, whilst we've got it's a bit of fun, isn't it, in terms of preparing a bid and of us asking questions. There's so much there for us to think about. We could do all this for £50,000, every single one of them, pretty much. That's a lot of good. For £50,000, we spend £50,000 very quickly in this trust. So I think there's something there. I could quite have easily said yes to them all. And this is about quality, and every single one of those would improve the quality of patient or staff's lives in some way. So I think they're all good ideas, but I guess we have to.
Do either of you
some.
have? There was one that seemed to particularly speak to me, and I don't know that I have a particularly logical, justifiable reason for it, but there was one that did. There was one that particularly did more than others. What about you two? Have you got any that are really shouting out to you?
Is that logic? I didn't know. I don't know if I can ask if they're still in the audience. I didn't know if there was any possibility of linking up Parveen with Verity. If we've got that virtual look around, if we could add the British Sign Language to that, because that seems quite connected.
Very connected, yeah.
I don't know if there's a possibility to link the virtual tour with incorporating the sign language. But maybe that's a question for later.
I think it's a slightly different project.
Okay.
If there was a virtual tour, it's great to have British Sign Language on it.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep them separate, okay.
It's easily incorporated from my end. Because the way you shoot the videos are exactly the same. In terms of cost, there is not much cost from shooting the video, editing the videos is the same price. But I think getting the VSL input in it might be there might be some cost associated with that.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
So we've talked a lot about the technology. Then, interestingly, of course, what just looking back at the different ones that we had. So Lisa's presentation was much more about going back to basics and just kitting out a room in a way that makes it fit for use and makes it a better experience for patients. And she also talked about the fact that, you know, maybe 24, 25 patients a week go through that process. So there's quite a lot of benefit there for something that's as simple as kitting out a room decently.
I think that for that one we should just put. Should ask the estates department to just get it done.
Okay.
And it sounds like quite a basic requirement that we should just.
We should
Not,
give that
not,
a
necessarily,
yes.
not necessarily use up one of
I
our things
understand.
here, but just do it anyway. It's quite basic.
Yep. We like a bit of common sense
We do.
as well, don't we? And if we can oil the wheels of this, that seems fantastic, because I felt very compelled about that. But it's great if we can do that in a different way. Okay. What else? Which others had? So we've touched on Parveen's and Verity's. I found the whole music for Carenza and the impact on our patients suffering with dementia really powerful. But I think you were starting to question, rightly so, Adam, whether that's the right way the right technology to use music with. I think you were thinking about different ways of doing it.
I think we could do that. I think that was a really, really good one.
Yeah.
Possibly done in a slightly different way, but still with the same benefits.
Yeah.
I thought Parveen's was really good.
Yeah.
I think the knowledge there about what is a key theme for everything, for a lot of different things. I'd do more. I mean,
So listen, you're the accountant. Even I can work out that those add up to a lot more than the money we've got available. So how are we going to do this? I'm pushing him for some creative accountancy. If you're just making sure you all know what's going on here.
So if so we've got some work going with Dementia UK and others, which is about music therapy
Okay.
and patient experience. So, and actually with a little bit of funding in my budget, I think we could help Carenza do their music therapy.
It's looking good for you, Carenza, if you're still here. But I think
not use this money.
I think what we're saying is not using this money, but it looks as if you have some friends here with our Director of Nursing, Midwifery and AHP. So it looks as if perhaps there's a different way where we can achieve the same outcome for you, which would be outstanding, because it feels great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So we're narrowing it down here because it looks as if we've got 2 of the 6 potentially funded in different ways. We haven't talked yet again, I don't think, about our amputation team and the pack that they wanted to put together.
yeah. I thought it was great as well. I just
You're not going to be any help at all.
because this
We were supposed to be fierce.
this category is about quality of care, and that's what we're here for,
Yeah.
isn't it? So
How much money have we got again here? 6.
yeah. So I mean, my personal view is if you want the charity to be behind something and to raise the profile of the charity, I think Parveen's is a really good one for that. I think I'd be interested to see what Ella thought around putting the quality improvement team to help support Verity working with some other deaf charities to try and get funding partly from us and partly from those to progress that one.
Yeah,
I
because
think
we've got the Equality and Diversity group, and if we work with the charitable funds too, I'm sure we'll be able to get it through there.
So Ella, you're making the right noises. Do you think that's a connection that you might be able to help with?
We should. It's so kind of, it clearly needs that specialist input, doesn't it? So we probably just, whilst there's lots of kind of VR stuff going on and video stuff today.
Yes,
I think
that's
that is
something
very
a bit different,
specialist.
isn't it? Yeah.
If we talk and then perhaps link up again, approach some of those deaf charities and see if we can do a joint funding thing and apply to charitable funds.
It feels to me like a project that a student, a dissertation student or somebody would bite your hand off to get involved with, if there was some opportunity there or something like that.
I think it's not just for deaf parents, but for
No.
learning disabled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's about, I think, we can put some work into grant applications and try and support it through that.
Yeah.
Have you worked with Zoe Cooper, because they do the safeguarding and vulnerable patients, and we've got Debbie Lewis, who's in equality and diversity. I'm sure we'll be able to come up with something between the two, to support that, because it's learning disabilities, vulnerable and deaf.
So, but according to my list here, we've still got 3. Really, so I think what we're saying is those 3 we've already talked about. We hope we're going to be able to support you guys in a different way, which is fantastic. So then we've got Danny, and he was talking about the distraction, if you like, of tablets and music, particularly for patients in surgery using local anaesthetic and that sort of thing. We've got Parveen and the virtual reality for maternity, and our team looking at the amputation working group. So in total, what they're looking for there is 2.5, 5. So we've got about 8 grand still on the table here.
I think if we're able to Kim said she's going to support the Cairns Award one.
Yes.
We've got to put some effort around the grant application, or some working with Verity on her project. Estate sort out the NPS stress room.
Yeah.
I think we support all the other 3 because they're really fantastic ideas. I think
I do know after this we're going to be fired.
I'm happy to
I'm going to get on the Alan Sugar, you're fired thing.
I'll take the grief if it's
I
too much,
think it's
I think we should.
absolutely.
So I think we might be ready.
I think everyone's a winner.
Yes,
I think
yes.
everyone should come down.
Absolutely.
You should be really proud. They were great
Really great
pictures.
job. In none of the other categories did everybody get help, so that was all down to you.
So congratulations. Thank you very much.
Really great job.
Well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.